there's a lot of discussion about what the new world order will be, or how, even in the context of our new Helsinki, how do we work towards that new normative international order that allows us to address our differences and disputes as the civilized world. And I believe perhaps we are at the moment in such a hyper-partisan, hyper-polarized time that we're not going to be able to form that new Helsinki today. But I hope going forward we are able to do, we must form and improve our normative and international institutional order internationally so that we can address these complaints. I hope this time round, once we're building this new world order or new rules-based order, the voice of the global south and the developing world is included.
We have to take care of the rules of the international law and really respect that and not change it in a time when there are countries that choose the way not to respect them. And Russia chose that way. So we have countries that are respecting the rules, and we have countries that are respecting their national interests going beyond the rules. And that is what is happening, and we have to take into consideration the world order.
May say that's a tad hypocritical, particularly when the science shows that private jet emissions quadrupled during Davos last year. That was as a result of the 1,040 elite personal transporters flying these illustrious guests in and out.
When you stop and think about it, it's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us at some point in our lives, are able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet. I mean, it's so almost extraterrestrial to think about, quote, saving the planet. And if you said that to most people, they think you're just a crazy tree-hugging, lefty, liberal, do-gooder, whatever, and there's no relationship. But really, that's where we are.
What does it need to master the future? I think to have a platform where all stakeholders of global society are engaged. Governments, business, civil societies, the young generation.
Changing the way districts work. For instance, in Zurich we have a lot of districts where you actually don't need a car because all the activities, school, buying something, everything you can do in walking distance, And by doing that, people don't buy a car, and it's not felt like actually they would like to have a car and they are not allowed to have it, but they simply don't need it.
Have a deeply wounded spirit as a people that is in desperate need of healing and restoration. And we must look to our Almighty Creator to find our proper place in humanity.
Scientifically, this is not a climate crisis. We are now facing something deeper. Mass extinction, air pollution, undermining ecosystem functions, really putting humanity's future at risk. This is a planetary crisis.
This is a safety crisis, but above all, it is also a justice crisis.
These constantly changing crises are all used by the WEF and the global elites to justify their tyrannical agenda. Or as they might put it, we're doing this for your own good, and the less you know about it, the better. And that's why they stifle potential critics by engaging in partnerships with them. Now, one of those partnerships happens to be with the world's largest multimedia news provider, Reuters. Now, conveniently, the partnership with Reuters introduces the exclusive hosting of video, audio, text and photo content from more than 100 live sessions at the Davos agenda, making the content then available to hundreds of global media publishers. Indeed, the overall agenda seems to be one of driving people out of the real world, I guess, and into living virtual lives via what they call the metaverse, or as the WEF acolytes put it, the digital global collaboration village. Now, according to Klaus Schwab, you can trust this WEF initiative because Interpol are on board.
A question to Mr. Schwab. I think the metaverse is a great tool to reinvent the way we work. But in general, my question is, in the moment we see quite a big decline in trust in political institutions and also in their representatives worldwide. And a meeting here in Davos, to what extent do you think this can strengthen to build this trust again?
One of the village partners, for example, is Interpol. So we work together already with the necessary instances to make sure that the system is as safe as it can be.